Alright, so today we're going to make the wonderful super dark chocolate ice cream that still is creamy, but it has very little sugar in it. So if you like the 80-90% chocolate, the 80-90% cocoa chocolate bars, and it's not too dark for you, this is going to be wonderful. I've perfected the recipe to where it's still kind of creamy. It's not that flaky, it's not brittle, it's very good. So we're going to do that. The first thing we're going to make is we're going to make the milk cream chocolate mixture. We're going to put some, a cup of cream, a cup of milk, 5 ounces of 100% cocoa, and 3 ounces of cocoa powder. So let's do that. In fact, let me do it one-handed. So let's see, I'm looking at my recipe list, the recipe thing over here. We're going to use, on very low heat, we're going to put a cup of milk. This is the, a full fat is what I like to use. I might have to, is it just enough? Oh, it's just enough. But you know what, let me taste it, because this expired a few days ago. Or, no, it hasn't expired yet, but you always want to taste it if it's, what's falling over there? Yeah, that's edible. Alright, so, that's a cup. So we put that in there, nice and splashed around. There we go. Again, we don't want to put it too high, especially when we put the chocolate in, but let's see here. Medium, yeah, okay. So let's do that. Let's put in the 3 tablespoons of the cocoa powder. Now, it's going to be interesting how we do it with one hand. Let's see, is this, I can barely read these anymore. Alright, so this is a tablespoon, and it's going to be nice and level, so not overly. Let's see, can we put this here? Oh, yes, let me see. Let's see how we can deal with this. So, we take this, and then we just nice and level 1, 2, and 3. Now you want to make sure it's nice and yeah. Let's stir it a little bit for a couple minutes here, and you don't want to do it on massively high heat. And the next thing that we're going to do, once the cup of milk is boiling up here, well, yeah, it's a low boil, not too much. You want to mix it in, it's nice and, it's still a little bit clumpy, but it's going to get better. Alright, so now we're going to, while this is doing its thing over here, we're then going to add in, the 5 ounces of chocolate of the cocoa. So basically, it's 4 ounces. It's I use the Girard Deli. I was actually at I think their original San Francisco shop many, many years ago. 4 ounces, 100%, and that's only 4 ounces. We needed 5 ounces total on top of the 3 of that. And so I have 2 more extra things. So it's 5 total, okay? And what we're going to do now is, let's see. Alright, we're going to break up, do we need to show that? Yeah, why not? Sure. Let me take a little. Well, I don't know, hold on, let me just, I don't know how much of it's going to get here, not that it matters, but you basically just break up the chocolate. This is not complicated, just, there we go, look at that. Just, it doesn't have to be super small pieces, but just small enough to where, once that's hot enough, you can just dump this in there, and it's going to, it's going to have an easier time melting, and that's it. I'm going to stir this a little more, and there we go. We can throw all of this away. There we go. So there we go, 5 ounces of 100% crushed up sort of chocolate, or, well, not even crushed, just broke it into manageable pieces. This is coming along pretty well here. You can see it. It's no longer clumpy. All the cocoa has melted in. And all right. Well, while that's doing its thing, it's getting very close. Let me just throw this away. So this is how you throw milk away. There we go, look at that. We don't even need to open this one. This is how you put milk back into the fridge. Look at that. And we're still going to need a cup of cream. Let's measure that out. You know, because I know we're going to need a new one. This is not, there we go, a full cup of cream. Now this is heavy whipping cream. So the one okay, let's see here. It is this. Come on, focus. Come on, there we go. So it is 1 tablespoon is the serving, and it has 6 grams of fat. Okay, it's very thick and creamy. It's heavy whipping cream. Here, we need a cup of that. So, let's see here. There we go. Yeah, that is coming along very well here. So we will, just stir. Just stir, and you know. Again, it's on a medium, and it's a pretty low flame. It's to begin with, but we can see it's steaming up a little bit. So. Alright. We just want to get a low boil, nothing too fancy. We don't want it to, you know. In the meantime, I guess we can put the cocoa powder up. We don't need that. Put that back. Alright. We're going to use some rum. Okay, oh yeah. Yeah, we're going to use some rum. Some coconut oil as well. I guess we can put the cream back. Alright. And, oh, some eggs. We'll get to that. We will get to that. I don't want to confuse the audience at home, I guess, because we could start on the other stuff, but let's just keep to this. It is very close. It's already, you see it bubbling a little bit over here? Look at that. Oh, you see some milk skin forming on top of that? Yeah, you want to make sure you're okay. You know what? We're going to call this a low boil. We're going to call this a low boil, and we can dump in the chocolate here. The lowest of the low setting, if it's good. You don't want it boiling anymore. This setting on this one is just a little simmer, and you can see it's already melting pretty well. Okay. Very just bit by bit, you want to dump in the cream. You want to mix it like so. And it looks like it's never going to get smooth. It looks like, oh my god, this is just stuck here. No, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be a nice creamy mixture soon. And just another 1/4 cup in here. I should take the camera a little further away. It can be a bit splashy, so. Alright. And the last bit here. You know, we can add a little more heat, I feel like it, just so the chocolate melts a little bit better. But you don't want to make sure, you want to make sure that it doesn't, you know, get bitter and start, you know, just, well, let's see how much shaking we can do to a little bit of heat. Let's see here. There we go. Make sure you're stirring it a lot so it doesn't. It is a bit clumpy, so there's that. You want to work out those clumps. Okay, so the next thing as we're stirring this, let me use my other hand to continue stirring. There we go. So you need 5 eggs, and you want to separate the egg whites, which you don't need for the recipe. You can use it just as egg whites and to make an omelet with that. But you do need 5 egg yolks, okay? And you just need to have that in a bowl, and you're gonna, well, we're gonna then use another cup of milk. 3 or 4 tablespoons. We're probably going to put 4 tablespoons in there because last time I put 3 and it could use 1 more. It's not an overpowering taste. And we're going to, last time I used 2 tablespoons of rum. We'll figure it out. We might use 2 again. We might use 1. A quarter cup of honey or 4 tablespoons of honey. A little bit of salt, and we'll warm that up, but we're still working out the clumps on this one. Okay, I think we're doing okay with this one. All right, so we will need some more milk because, yes, we will need some more milk. So that's fine. We need another cup of milk. There we go. And let's make sure this doesn't, you know what, let's set it to the lowest spot. This is a simmer. You know, some of these settings, for me at least, the low is not a simmer. It still boils it too much. You don't want to boil this chocolate stuff at all. I think it becomes way too bitter and stuff, but yeah, you just don't want to have clump. We'll figure that out, don't worry about it. So that's about a cup. Is that a cup? Yeah, yes, that's a cup. So we want to combine 1 cup of milk over here. All right. We can begin to start heating it. Guess there we go. It doesn't have to be very high, kind of medium low. So milk, 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. So we're going to level that as well. Let's see what we can do here. So the coconut, I've used coconut flakes, and now this is better. Virgin coconut oil. It's the medium heat to 280, so that's not going to be an issue because we're not baking this. But just in case you don't have something similar, it's 14 grams of fat for 1 tablespoon. Okay, so it's a nice fatty, nice rich product. And we're going to use 4 tablespoons. We're going to go crazy and use 4 instead of 3 like I did last time. And I do have a new one. This might not be. We want to level this as well. How much of that are we seeing here? Well, you just imagine that. I can't quite. Let's see. Can we get in the shot? There we go. Something like that. And then just dump it in here. Oh, this is a little more tougher than I thought. There we go. Okay, so that's 1. And we'll say that's 2. Come on now. Okay, kind of all over. Okay, so we'll say that's 2. And we'll say this is 3. We could have used this, right? 3. And number 4. Ugh. Getting all oily here. Yeah, let's say that's 4. And kind of wash that in there. There we go. Alright, let me wash my hands real quick. All right, so now that I've washed my hands, you know what, we can put a little bit more because it wasn't quite, yeah, we'll put this much in there. Just, there we go. So the next thing on the list is adding the 2 tablespoons of rum. You know what, fuck it. Let's put in 2 again, all right? So again, I think we can use the same little tablespoon measuring thing, just to put in 2 here. That's 1, and that's a little bit less than 2, but let's say 2. Let's say 2. All right. So we put 2 in here, and there we go. So getting the honey in there and measuring it out is a little bit tough. So what I'm going to do, I think now. I have some honey I've heated up because it's crystallized at the bottom. Yeah, I think that's going to flow pretty well. We need 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup. It's the same thing. So I'm thinking we can use this and then dump it in, and then just dump it in there. Because the honey's kind of sticky, and then okay, hold on, yeah. This is getting a little heated here, okay. All right. So we could also use this one. Okay, let me see here. All right, so let me get the honey nice and melted. So let's use this to measure. So 4, this is 1. Oh, it's nice and, okay. So this is 4, and then we can just kind of rinse it out so it doesn't get stuck on the side. So that's good. That's very good, nice and clean. So this is number 2. Yeah, if your honey is heated up, then it flows out a lot easier. Oh, this is great. This is fantastic. So this is number 3 here. And this is number 4. And I think that's almost empty as well. This is good. Oh, perfect. Look at that. I guess whatever else we have left, just a 1/2 teaspoon or whatever this is. So there we go, and that is very, very good. So we got all the rum in there, we got the honey, and you want to make sure you just keep stirring this. Let's take a look at this clumpy mess here that we've created here. Is it clumpy? It's okay. It's on the very lowest setting. If you can't, if the lowest setting that your stove does is still too hot and it's bubbling too much, like this is not bubbling, it's warm but it's not bubbling, you might also want to look into a okay, hold on, before we can get that a little lower. You might want to look into a double boiler. So this heats the water up here. You fill this with water, and then you basically put the chocolate in there, all right? And then that way it doesn't boil it, because it has to go boil the water first, and it boils through the metal, so it doesn't get as hot. All right? But if you put it on the lowest setting and you watch it so it doesn't start boiling like crazy, it's perfectly fine. And you just kind of do that. So let's go back to our coconut milk honey mixture. And you also have to put in a little bit of salt. I just, you know, like couple shakes, you know, nothing. I don't know why. I don't know what the salt does in there, but apparently it's good for it or something. Who knows? So it's steaming a little bit. I don't know if it comes up on the camera, but it's happening. So as this is heating up, you don't really want it to boil necessarily. In fact, you definitely don't want it to boil. You want it to be just sort of hot, bubbly a little bit. So the purpose of this is now you're going to get the yolks, not the whites. You don't need those. The yolks here, and you're going to try to feed a little bit of the. Let's get a spoon here, maybe a biggest spoon you can find. Yeah, these are good spoons. The idea is that you're going to try to cool off this mixture by putting it into this. This is eggs, okay? So if this gets too hot, you know, you're making egg omelet with your ice cream. That's not good, okay? So you want to feed a little bit into here. Yeah, okay, There we go. And then just kind of, you know, shake it up a little bit. Take a little more. Take a little more. Dump it in here. You know. And once you've transferred enough, or I guess we can even just lift it off here and just dump a little bit in here. And you know, people eat raw eggs, so I don't think it's an issue. You know, you're not going to get too sick from it. You know, I've had this so many times, I've never had any issues. And people eat raw eggs, they don't have any issues, so. But the point is, you still want to heat it up a little bit. And we'll get to that. You know, so just kind of do that. And I can smell the rum. Delicious. So basically when it's, you know, you've transferred most of it out of here and you've kind of stirred it really well, just dump the whole thing back in here. Alright. And again, make sure you're stirring. And you know this is ready when it coats the spatula. So right now, not really. You want to put a little bit of heat. Again, you do not want to boil this because it's eggs. You want to get it warmer. You want to get it a little more functional like that. You do not want to boil it together. That's crazy. Okay. All right. So as we're waiting for this, I guess this is still an issue here. It's a bit clumpy, but it's cooling off a little bit. That's the other issue. We can make it a little bit warmer, the chocolate mix. Not too much. Yeah. But then we have to make sure we're also stirring this. And this again, you want to be patient with this. You really want to be patient as this is warming. You know, again, you don't want it to be too clumpy. Because this starts clumping up. Well, is that already the egg yolk clumping up, or what the hell's going on here? I think that's pretty good. I think basically that's good. What we're going to do is slowly fold in this stuff into that and just stir like crazy. Okay? And then we'll be almost done here, all right? So let's see here. Is that gonna... Yeah, I think we're gonna be able to see it that way, yes. So just very slowly fold it in and stir, stir, stir. It's kind of splashy. Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah. All right, now you want to get the rest of it. Yeah, just dump all of it in here. Now, again, it's a little bit more than the lowest of the low. Again, you want to stir it. You don't want to get it boiling, especially now that the eggs are in there. You just want to make sure it's not too clumpy. It's a little clumpy, but we'll use a mixer. So that's also another thing we're going to use, so it's not a huge issue. A little bit of that. Yeah, nah, screw it. Alright, so... Alright, now we're going to use a little bit of the mixer. So we'll take that out over here. I'll put it down here. Alright, let's make sure we don't... this thing's going to fall, isn't it? So we'll put this here. We'll get the... just one's fine, you don't need both. And we'll put it in over here. Is it this side? I think it's this side. There we go. Alright, now we also want to use xanthan gum. Now this is what's going to make it nice and creamy, okay? You only need to use, for this amount, to make it really creamy, half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon, okay? So we'll find our measuring our measuring device here. This is a quarter, half a teaspoon. And you don't want to dump it in all at once. You want to take, just a level half a cup, and we'll slowly work it in here. Now let me, I should have adjusted, let's adjust this. Oof, okay. Let's adjust here. Well, we'll figure it out. It's going to get pretty loud, but you don't want to dump it in all at once. You want to put the mixer on, okay? You want to put the mixer on, and then you just fold it in very quickly. And it's still on the very lowest setting, so it's still warming it. It's not as clumpy, so we'll put this here. It's going to get loud. Hopefully it doesn't. Okay, let's see here. Alright. Hopefully it doesn't bust the camera over. Alright, there we go. Getting a bit splashy there. Now we're not quite done yet, and there we go, perfect. We want to also put in half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. So let's do that now. Let's use the same half a teaspoon measuring device here. There we go. And there we go. And we can just dump. All right, so we were abruptly cut off here, but let's, we put in the vanilla extract. We can, and we can even use this to keep stirring it. And, you know, I think it's no longer lumpy. You know, I think it's very good. And that's basically it. Now, tomorrow we need to cool this down, and you will be tempted to, oh, well, I'll just put it in the freezer thing, or I'll put it in well, we'll talk about that, but you'll be tempted to make the ice cream the same day you made this. Maybe if you make it in the morning and then you stick it in the fridge, maybe by the end of the night you can make it. It's going to heat up the device you're using to freeze it with, to churn the ice cream. It's going to be too warm. It needs to be cooled overnight, okay? You don't want to, then it's, no, you will need to wait overnight to cool this down. Okay, and that's basically it. I think we're done. And tomorrow we'll do this, we'll finish this up. I use the KitchenAid mixer. It has an ice cream attachment device right there, and a couple other tools with that. I'll use that. That's the only thing I've used. It works very well. We will also probably have to add a quarter cup of milk in the morning to loosen it up, because it's always just very moussey. It's very thick. So that's the trick I use in the morning, is to put a little bit of milk to loosen it up. You can kind of thaw it out, even if it's in the fridge, just thaw it out for 20-30 minutes and then add a little bit of milk and it'll be perfect. So, but we'll do that tomorrow, and that's it for, well, is that it for, let me just make sure we got everything here. We got the heavy cream, we got the milk, we got the cocoa powder, we got the chocolate, we got the milk again, we got the sugar, we got the salt, we got the egg, we got the xanthan gum, we got the vanilla, and we got the coconut. Yeah, that's an extra thing I put in there. And it adds a nice flavor to it. It's not overwhelming, you know? And yeah, I think we're done. I mean, it's a nice cleanup we're going to have to do here, but I think we're done, and we'll finish this up tomorrow. So we are back, and we are finishing the ice cream today. I just took this out of the fridge, and as you can see, it is a little bit too thick. It's like a mousse, right? I guess you could eat it as a mousse as well, but this is ice cream, so we're going to have to freeze it. But the first thing we're going to have to do is to make it a little more freezable, is to put in about a 1/4 cup of milk. Just a tiny bit of milk to loosen it up. And we're going to use the hand mixer just like this. In fact, let me put this down like so. We'll be able to see the mixing action. And maybe we can use the machine to... I just don't want it splashing around too much, right? It's a little more workable. Let's use the machine for a few seconds. And here we go. Which one is it? It's sufficiently liquid to where we can now... Yeah, that's pretty good. That consistency there. It's a lot better. Now it's going to be tough to get it in, and we're going to have to work very fast. So I have the KitchenAid mixer, and I want to get these ready just so we can dump it in already. Dump it in real quick, and the what do you call it? The freezer compartment doesn't thaw out too fast. All right. Now it's going to take a couple minutes. I don't know. It's just one of those things where you kind of know it looks okay. There's no set time. It also depends on how cold that is, how cold this is, you know, etc., etc. And you want to act quick on this, because when you're dumping in the ice cream, or the not so iced cream yet. Let's put this down here. Let's see. When you start dumping the ice cream in, the other issue is that it freezes and then it doesn't spin, and then that has an issue. So we'll dump it in really quick. Let's see, do you want to put this in first, or... Yeah, screw it. We'll put most of this in, and then we'll just put in whatever. Yeah, well, let's see how it goes. It's pretty liquid, so... Alright. And then we'll scrape the rest of it, but we gotta put this on, like so. And put it on the lowest setting. Yep. And you can see it's stirring. And there's a little bit left. We'll try to best put this in here. Alright, let's see here. Whoop. Something fall down. I don't think it did. So we got a nice mass here, and we're ready. Alright, there we go. Move that over a little bit, and hopefully we can dump it all in. It's still going to be able to spin. Come on now. Very good. And again. There we go. So we'll take a look at this when it's done, and yeah. Alright, so what you gotta do is you gotta put this in the fridge for an hour, and once it's there, you can kind of scoop it out. It's nice and soft. Yeah. And I like to serve a little bit of coffee liqueur. This is a, they don't sell this anymore, but it's a Crater Lake vodka infused with hazelnut espresso. So it's a coffee, yeah, it's a coffee vodka thing. Just a splash, nothing too much more. There we go, just a little bit like that. A little bit of, let's see here, a little bit of whipped cream I literally just whipped up a second ago here. Plop. Whoop. There we go. And a little bit of cinnamon. We can sprinkle that on there. Oh, let's see. And that is perfect. It is done.